For more than 2 decades of war from 1986, the people of Northern Uganda found themselves engulfed in the war they never started nor wanted. Many civilians were caught up in the crossfire, some of them paid for with their lives. The monuments of insurgency and massacre and the relics of war can only explain the intensity of the anguish, devastation, and poverty in the sub-regions, especially in the rural areas. The decades of civil war has disrupted the socio-economic fabric and livelihood of the inhabitants of Acholi and Lango of northern Uganda, leading to a situation where most villages abandoned for years. Although a large number of families have returned to their villages, most of them are still facing difficulties meeting the most fundamental day-to-day needs, such as food, water, health, and education. One of the most inspiring non-governmental organizations formed in 2008, known as Link to Progress, stepped in quickly to address some of the gaps, starting with Lango and Teso sub-regions. Jacques Rosen is the founder.
First time I came here was in 2002. Terrible, the war here. Many people suffering, people's in the camps, terrible. We were just looking what's the best thing we can do. And I think the most basic one people need is safe and clean drinking water. Then we did in a number of years many boreholes. But you can imagine only water is not enough. There were many more demands. We also started income generating projects. So we had some funds, we formed groups to help them to generate their own income. That was in fact not very successful. We discovered the people were too long in the camps and they needed more support. They needed guidance just to handle all these kind of things in a proper way. We need also to help to develop and to strengthen the girls. And we started to build additional structures. Classroom blocks, dormitory halls, central hall, step by step. So we also start helping in Ichemen, the girls' school, and we met Korenzai Foundation, represented by Hilde Klok, and I asked her to join LTP. She liked the way we were working, and she joined.
When I first visited Uganda in 2008, I was looking for a good partner to work together with in making good boreholes for the rural community. That's how I found Link to Progress. And we have built up a real close relationship. We continued making boreholes in rural communities, but also included CLTS, community-led sanitation, wash and other principles of hygiene in and around the houses and schools. For the schools we also extended our work together and built dormitories, sanitary facilitations and classrooms and teacher houses. When I look back in our cooperation, I see that we have always got an open communication. That means that we want to learn from each other, but we also are looking at the communities we're working with and learn from them. That's what I like working with Link to Progress.
Link to Progress work with different partners. Among others is Uganda National NGO network. Like UWASNet, we work with Uganda Wash Alliance, the local government officials from the district level, the sub-county level, down to the village level. We also work with international partners. One of them is the Good Shepherd Foundation, the Konzaya Foundation, Venco, Impulses, and the Medical Foundation. All these partners help us to build our capacity, and we learn a lot from the different partners. In water program, we don't just drill water, but we also have operation and maintenance of different water projects. In these projects, we don't work in isolation. We involve the community leaders, We call them the extension leaders. We build their capacity so that in the absence of LTP, they can run the project for sustainability so that the community are supposed to own the different projects on ground.
Some of the most visible impacts of Link to Progress intervention in the region is water and sanitation, education, to mention a few. Peter Yo is the man who has been on the ground managing the project.
To date, Link to Progress has constructed 406 water sources in different parts of their project area. Our project area includes 8 districts in north and northeastern Uganda. They include Oyam, Kole, Apach, Lira, Alebtong, Otuke, Pader, and Amuria. Some of them are deep boreholes, some are shallow boreholes, while others are protected springs. In institutions where there are boreholes with high yield, our organization also motorizes these boreholes.
In the communities, the starting point was to train them on the significance of water and sanitation as the essential tools for transformation and their role in the whole process. Each session included practical demonstration to deepen their understanding of the subject matter.
Link to Progress has adopted a method called Community-Led Total Sanitation, CLTS. In this process, Link to Progress staff sensitize the community on their status, on the dangers of contamination caused by human feces, and how it can get mixed with water, how human feces can contaminate food, and in the process, experiments are carried out using sometimes human feces, which shows how water can get contaminated with feces, how food can get contaminated with feces. Through this process, the community understands fully how this contamination takes place, and together they come up with way forward on how to avoid open defecation.
Just as the production of this video was drawing to a close, Link to Progress together with Amuria local government officials jointly commissioned WASH project and celebrating open defecation-free villages in Amuria district, eastern Uganda.
We have been in partnership with Link to Progress since 2014, and the program began in 2013, 2014, and then 2014, 2015, 2015, 2016. We have so far constructed 60 boreholes in the 3 financial years. The 60 boreholes we have constructed were in the sub-counties of Akoromit and Achowa, and then on the other side, Morungatuny sub-county, which also created Ogolai sub-county. So we have run in 4 sub-counties during the lifespan of the project. In these 2 sub-counties, which was Achowa then and Morungatuny, the water coverage was below the national average and also below the district average. In fact, the water coverage for the 2 sub-counties was 46 and 43 respectively. And as we speak, the progression of the development of water in the 2 sub-counties, which became 4 sub-counties, has gone above the national average. And we base these statistics at the number of persons who have access to a water point. But when we turn these statistics to a distance walked to a water source, which according to the guidelines is 1 kilometer to access water, this statistics comes below the national average. Because with the other 300 per borehole, because of the population, the persons that get water is estimated at 96% in all these areas. But when you come to a walking distance to a water source, it's just at about 62%. What we need to say that we have made achievement not only in the water component, but also had achievements in the sanitation and hygiene component. In 2014-2015, in partnership with Link to Progress and the funding which was done by the Konzaya Foundation, we actually attained 10 ODF villages. ODF is open defecation free. In the subsequent year, we attained another 16. And this actually shows that there is an increase of ODF villages in the subsequent years. And we actually hope even after this project has phased out, that shall continue to ensure that all the communities which receive these water sources have attained ODF.
One component of the intervention which is cross-cutting and apparently the most exciting to all the groups is the Village Saving and Loan Association. The only input from Link to Progress is the training, without any funding whatsoever. Every household started by saving 1,000 Uganda shilling, equivalent to 0.350 American dollar per month for borehole maintenance. An individual member saving starts with 1,000 shillings per week. The savings are lent out and paid back with interest. As a result of this, a new culture of saving has evolved in these areas, involving more than 138 village saving and loan association groups.
The best thing that Link to Progress did for our group was to give us a saving box. The saving box serves 2 purposes, one of which is to keep all water maintenance collection in a safe and secure way. Because if it's kept by an individual, the money can easily get lost. But if it's kept in a box, each time the borehole breaks down, the group can pick the saved money and repair the borehole. So in our weekly savings, we always begin with water maintenance contribution. It's after that that we provide our own personal savings. For me, I borrowed 300,000 Ugandan shillings from the group savings and I bought 5 pigs. And I plan to sell them in December and use the money for paying my children's school fees and also increase my contribution in the group.
My name is Ekwaro Moses. I'm the group chairperson of P. Otonowa VSL. This is my garden that I cultivated with money borrowed from the group saving. I then bought 3 sachets of seeds and planted, while the remaining money I used it for weeding the garden. What is bothering me at the moment is the unreliable rain. My crops should have been beyond this, but as you can see, some are low, others are high. So I request Link to Progress to continue guiding our group because we have realized the value of savings through groups. It encourages one to save money irrespective of how small it is.
We started our group last year. We make weekly savings every Sunday. On a good day, you save 5,000 Ugandan shillings, and on a bad day, you save 1,000 or 2,000 Ugandan shillings. I saved money until February. I realized the need to borrow. The group lent me 400,000 Ugandan shillings. I bought an oxen for plowing, and that's what I did.
Apart from water projects, Link to Progress also handles education projects. And in this sector, we handle infrastructure development, which involves construction of classrooms, dormitories, staff houses or latrines, and provision of furniture in the school. And then we also have menstrual hygiene management for girl children, and finally we have a scholarship program.
Before Link to Progress appeared or came in, we had some problems. Some of them were that our staff were staying in houses which were in bad condition, and Link to Progress gave us some good 5 houses, which is accommodating 5 teachers.
We are very much grateful for the work of this company, which is Link to Progress. Because from 2000, when I was here, when I first came here, we used to sleep in a grass thatch house. But sometimes during rainy season, you don't sleep comfortable. Sometimes you just stand when the rain is raining, especially during night time. Now that we are comfortable here, we are just very much grateful for what the company has done. So it has changed the lives of the teachers who are residing in this kind of house.
In this school, I am very proud that they made 2 beautiful dormitories, one for the girl child and another one for the boy child. And then also they went further. Physiological need water, they sank in here water for the students, and it is very beneficial. We put it on the boys' side. Prior to that, the boys were getting how to disturb people in the villages for the sake of water.
Before this dormitory block was constructed, girls used to squeeze themselves in only 3 dormitory blocks. That is, senior ones used to sleep with senior 2s, senior 3 used to share the dormitory with senior 5s, and senior 4s with senior 6s. But this dormitory was constructed, it helped us a lot, especially the candidates. It improves on our performance.
By the time Link to Progress came to our aid with Konzaya Foundation, we had the challenges of water. There was no water in the school. There was one borehole and it could break down. When it would break down, students would scatter in the villages looking for water. So that was the #1 challenge, which would not make teaching and learning comfortable. But in 2010, they came and helped us, connected us, we got solar pumped water. To motivate students to read and have a focus to aim higher up to university level. They shared it with Link to Progress, they connected us also with Konzaya, and eventually we got the program of scholarship.
So what we also did in one of our visits is talking to the girls in the high schools. That's where they asked us, can you help us with further education? Because for them, after high school, there was no way they could go to university or college. That's how I find a new partner in the Netherlands to contribute for that. And that's how we started the scholarships.
I was in Ngai Senior Secondary School in the year 2014. And I joined Bulu University in 2015, and I'm pursuing Bachelor's of Art Education, majoring in Languages and Literature. I got this scholarship through Link to Progress. We were picked on merit after the results. I feel very grateful for the scholarship, and I want to appreciate the organization for having awarded me this scholarship.
I was in the Cheme Girls from 2009 up to 2014 when I started for my A-level, and I scored 11 points. Then I was admitted here at Gulu University for a bachelor degree in Development Studies and Economics. I'm too proud for the scholarship that I got, because I never knew I would be in this place or get a degree course. Of course, I've applied but had no hope of coming. But now when the names came I was so happy because I got the scholarship.
As per now, they have intervened in the staff accommodation, which was also a challenge. We have 32 teachers, but we only have 12 houses. Some are sharing, some are coming from afar. So the intervention they made right now, they have made up, constructed for us a twin staff house, which is a long way to help, and we shall also have some of the teachers settled within the school to be able to interact and interface with the students and help us to perform better.
Much as we are providing water supply to community, we are providing infrastructures to school, and we also have a sponsorship program. LTP has a lot of challenges though. One of the challenges is too much demand from the community, and that one means we have to get lots of money, of which the issues of funding is still a very big challenge for LTP. Another challenge is sometimes we need vehicles which can manage poor roads. The places where we go, it's really deep in the villages, and because we have to serve the community, we need to go with our vehicle, but sometimes really they break on the way, and we need vehicles which can manage poor roads. And because of the finances, we cannot make it at this point.
The project has given hope to many people in those sub-regions. It has also motivated some of the needy students to rate hard to be able to qualify for the Education Scholarship Award. The challenge now is whether the empowerment and the support they need will continue to sustain the current tempo.
In terms of the plans that we have for the coming, say, 5 years, is that we are trying to grow as an NGO in terms of money that we can spend on new water sources in areas that are particularly underserved. When we started in Northern Uganda, it was an area that was particularly underserved, particularly poor, suffering from the results of so many years of civil war. That area has really improved over the last, say, 10 years in terms of especially the support that we are providing. So we are now actually thinking of slowly but surely moving out of the area in which we have been working to go to areas that are still underserved. There are still patches in Uganda where safe water coverage is really low for various reasons, and we think we have our task there. Of course, apart from water and operation and maintenance of water sources, we also have our other tasks that have to do with education, the support for schools, and then particularly in terms of hardware, so staff houses, dormitories, even furniture for the classrooms. We have also been starting the work with scholarships of specifically disadvantaged children that had the capacity to actually grow if they would have the funding. It is something that we want to continue with, and definitely that will remain a part of the work that we are doing.
The success stories, impacts, milestones, and achievements will not be complete without tributing the indefatigable services of the management and staff of Link to Progress. These normal men and women have performed their duties with dedication and smiles.